My name is Görkan Salk. I lead the PSA Dynamics Project Service Automation and the Finance and Operations Service Industries team. I lead the engineering teams in R&D. I've moved to the role recently, 5 months ago, but I've been with Microsoft 15 plus years. The past 4.5 years I've spent in Dynamics R&D, running the customer success team. And prior to that, I spent 10 years running a Dynamics practice in our consulting services organization, where we were using PSA actually. So I'm glad to be here. One thing that has changed with me moving into the new role is the team composition has changed. Now we have the PSA engineering team and the Finance and Operations Service Industries team under one umbrella. And that should give you a clue about our intention to bring these two products closer together. And we'll talk all about that in today's session in our investments. With me, I have my colleague, Rupa.
Hello.
I'll let her introduce yourself.
So I'm Rupa. I'm a PM on the PSA product. And I'm on Gurkan's team. I've been with Microsoft for about 8 years now. And before working on PSA, I've been with PSA since its inception, that is in 2015, when the whole product was envisioned. And before 2015, I was working with Dynamics Finance and Operations SI product. And before joining Microsoft, I was with Accenture.
Perfect. Thank you, Rupa. So what we'll cover in today's session under the NDA is, so we'll talk about the roadmap of PSA, talk about our vision, and the investments as a team for the next year so that you know where we are going directionally. We'll talk about the in-market releases that we landed this calendar year in 2019. We'll do a demo around those, and then we'll double-click into the October wave investments and what's coming in our next release. So that's the content of the session. We like interactive audiences, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask as we go along. All right. So we figured the way we'll start the presentation is to talk about the problem space that we're trying to solve, right? So our solutions, whether that's project service automation or finance and operations service industries, are being used by organizations that have project-based services, right? These project-based services could be used for revenue-generating purposes, or they may be internal projects that the organization is using and driving with their businesses. And if you look at the slide, these are the personas that are involved in the process, right? So in the pre-sales stage, you have the account manager and the partner manager that, that will work together to respond to an opportunity. What they will do is they will create a WBS, a project plan, where they will assign generic resources to it. They will assign resource pricing and costing. Out of that will come a quote, and then they will quote the customer for the services implementation. And hopefully, if they win, the process will go into an execution stage, where they will assign a project manager to that project. And the project manager will work with the resource manager. The resource manager in our customers have a view of all the projects and of all the resources in the organization. They will work with that project manager. They will make sure that they assign the right resources for that project. And once the resource assignment is done, the generic resources in the WBS are replaced with named resources. You will have actual resource costs and actual resource pricing in the project plan. At that point, as the project makes progress, the team members will enter time and expense actuals, right? That will form the revenue that the project is generating, as well as the cost, so that the project manager will have profitability insight into that project and how the resources are doing from a project perspective. And then we'll also have the project accountant involved, right, in this process. The project accountant will send the invoices to the organization's customer for all the projects that they are running. They will manage the payments in the process, up to the point where we close the project. When the project is complete, the project manager will close the project, and then they will go on to the next project, right? And at the top, the main stakeholders in this process are the COO, right, and the practice manager. And they are interested in insights such as, is their organization profitable, right? So the whole profit margin that they make off of the projects, right? Is there resources, are the resources being utilized, right? Is the resource mix in the organization the correct one? So those will be the interests of the COO or the practice manager. If you look at these personas, one thing that they have in common is that they speak the project language, right? So all these personas know about projects. They will open project at one point or another. They will understand what's in the WBS, the task assignment. So this is kind of the problem space that project service automation, as well as finance and operation service industries module plays in, right? That's where our solutions are being used. And we have customers in multiple industries, including construction, engineering, high tech, right, professional services. So all of these customers are utilizing our products here. Now to talk specifically about Dynamics 365 for project service automation, PSA. Right, this was introduced in the market around 2016, 3 years ago, and it saw phenomenal growth, right, in these 3 years. We had a big uptake of this product. And if you look at the business process that this solution is supporting, it starts with opportunity management, right? The pre-sales cycle, right? You have sales capabilities within PSA. You have project planning capabilities within PSA. You have a WBS, the Gantt capabilities that exist today. Resource management is built on top of our universal resource scheduling engine, right? You have resource management capabilities that help organizations best utilize their resources. You have team collaboration, time and expense capabilities within PSA, as well as customer billing and invoicing, right? And this all runs on Dynamics 365 on CDS and Azure today. So what we'll do next is Rupa will talk to us about the in-market features that have landed in this calendar year. We'll also do a demo of those capabilities, and then we'll get into the roadmap discussion and our investments that are upcoming.
Thank you, Gurkan. So if you look at the in-market investments, there is, if you see the full chevron that we support for projects, all the way from sales to time and expense and approvals and creation of a pro forma invoice. These are the areas that have seen a lot of investment in the last few months. That is starting from the time when 3.0 was released. Back in August of this year, August of 2018, we have had monthly enhancements where we have introduced a lot more features on the UCI platform. So firstly, it is, when it comes to price list, there has been a significant wave of enhancements. If you remember, or if you're a user of PSA, how many of you have used the multidimensional pricing where you can create any price for any attribute of a resource? How many of you have used that? Okay, about 3 or 4. So what that feature, the promise of that feature is no matter what your resource pricing strategy is, the product will scale to that need. So based off of that enhancement that was introduced in 3.0, we have made a lot more enhancements in line to support that notion in the pricing and costing areas. So firstly, assume that you have a price list that talks about people within your company and the pricing for them. And so you have a price matrix that's defined by you or your customer's organization that says, okay, a person with 3 years of experience, 0 to 3 years of experience, or 3 to 4 years of experience is priced so much. Now, there should be a way for you to make copies of those price lists from one period to another with inflationary changes, and be it whether it's for revenue price lists, which are specifying bill rates, or whether it is cost rates. So that's one feature that we added, to be able to make copies of price lists so that you can reuse them after adding a slight markup, optionally or otherwise. And then because PSA is meant for multi-geo projects, it is not required for you to set up your price always by the hour as your unit. From now, I mean, after the 3.4 update of PSA, you'll be able to set up your cost and price in any unit of time, and that any unit of time for an hour to change from country to country doesn't make sense, but for a working day to change from country to country makes a lot of sense. Some countries work a 7.5-hour day, some countries work an 8-hour day, some countries may want to work at a 10-hour day. So you define those days by geography and then set up your price in that unit of time. And then what the system does is it keeps a factor of how many hours to a working day in that geography, and then it is able to apply that, prorate that when a resource actually records time. So if I'm working 10-hour days and I belong to a geo that works 10-hour days and I put in 8-hour time on a specific project task, it prorates my time, my day rate, divided by 10, figure out the hourly rate, and then supply the price to the project manager of how much my 8-hour task costed them. So no matter what your time unit, no matter what your currency, you'll be able to set up your price list for your organization, and then you'll be able to use that accordingly in your project. One other a concept we introduced is a currency agnostic way of defaulting price. So a lot of customers have told us that this way, where you have a cost rate list that's tied to an org unit, is not necessarily how we do things. There are a few organizations where that works perfectly fine, where a US division will set up its cost rates and set up transfer rates when I use resources from another org unit, right? You can totally do that. But then there is also a section of customers that have told us that we don't necessarily do transfer rates. In our operational project management system, we like to keep one global cost rate list for all employees of our company. So do not try to match currencies when you try to figure out which cost rate list to use. We'll have one global rate list for our employees, and we'll use that on all projects, no matter where they're being delivered out of. So that's the concept that we introduced, and it comes with a flag, just so it doesn't disrupt any of your existing pricing, costing strategies that you have. You turn on globally agnostic cost rate defaulting, and what that does is it allows you to have one cost rate list at the global level for all projects, and whether the project is spun out of a US division or a European division or an Asian division, it doesn't matter. It'll just go up and look up a rate for a resource from a certain division and uses that cost rate to cost in your project. So you have both modes available now. If you have an org unit specific cost rate list, it will definitely use that. But if you don't want to do that, just leave that blank and have a globally, turn on your currency agnostic price list and use a global cost rate list for your company. And then the other one is much asked for. We had this ability to open your project in Project Client in the 2.x version. We had to repeal that in 3.0 because of data model changes. We added that back, so that's something that we added in the project planning area. And then in time, expense, and approval, or the TESA acronym that you'll see us using frequently from now on, it is time, expense, status, and approvals. That's what TESA stands for. Firstly, you did not have the weekly time entry experience in 3.0. You're going to have that now. You can change the start date and end date to be in line with your user settings. That all those features were introduced when we had the weekly time entry go out in 3.2 version of PSA. In the expense, we had the ability to set up a price per unit for certain expense categories, but we didn't allow you to express how many units of that category you used. That's something that we fixed. Now you can have a price per unit for mileage scenarios. That's plenty help, and there are many other scenarios on expense categories. People have used expense categories even to process invoices, the number of invoices processed per month, the number of payrolls processed per month, and then charge the client based on the number of units processed per month. So that has been a few scenarios around how expense categories were used in PSA. So you now have that ability, and then we did not have a way for you to say, these are the transactions that I would like to invoice my customer. We now have that. Please feel free to use it. I'll show you one implementation of it that's kind of nice, using entity dashboards as a concept. But I totally trust you to explore that and see how you can customize it for various customers' requirements. Basically, the flag is a very lightweight thing. It just says, am I ready to bill or not ready to bill? And then you can figure out how that flag gets set. You can write rules and constraints on when a particular transaction needs to get billed versus not. So, and then finally, a lot of improvement has been done on actuals. Once an actual is recorded, PSA did not allow you to modify them. Now, there's a whole lot of scenarios where this has been lit up. One is recalling a time entry by a consultant. I submitted a time, the time was approved. I did not have a way to recall that and correct my time entry. It's now possible. There was no way for a project manager. As a project manager in PSA, I could change how many hours I would bill to the customer during approval. My consultant recorded 8 hours time. During approval, I don't have a way to change the time that they reported, but I have ways to say, not 8, but I'll only bill a portion of that 8 to my customer. I had ways to do that. So I would do that, or mark a task as completely non-chargeable, even though it was marked chargeable. I could have these facets that changed how the billing behaved during approval. Let's say I made that decision and I approved it. Let's say I reduced the time from 8 to 6 and said all of the 6 will be complementary to the client, and I approved the time entry. If I later have a change of heart and I want to make that chargeable again, I did not have a way to do that. I had to go to the invoice and then make that time entry as chargeable on the, that particular line as chargeable on the invoice. Now, I have a way, even after, during the approval phase, even before an invoice, I could go bring it back up, cancel my approval, and make those necessary modifications and approve it one more time. So those are 2 scenarios. There is also a third one, a more powerful one, which is basically a backend persona can go take a bulk load of actuals, move them from one project to another. So that's a few of the enhancements we did. I'll show you a few of those, but I won't have time to go through the entire set of them, but I'll show you a few. And let me shift over to my demo machine here. Oh, yes. Just now decided to go to sleep. Of course. Sorry about that. Even if my talk track was a minute less, I would have caught it from going to sleep. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit about the entity dashboard concept and how that can help with the ready to invoice flag. So let me shift over to the billing backlog. So this is an entity dashboard that I have here. This does not require any coding. This is just what I did in. Basically, it's a dashboard that I built off of my actuals, and it shows me per customer for a certain period what are the backlog that I have. And from right here, I can see that there are a few time and expense entries, and I can sort of select them from here. And then I can mark them as ready to invoice or not ready to invoice from right here. Or I could filter them out by customer or by contract, and then mark them as ready to invoice. And then here I get a few options here. There's one, what I was alluding to, ready to invoice or not ready to invoice. I could mark them as ready to invoice, and then that'll, the next time the invoicing feature, invoicing activity turns up, it'll create a draft invoice that includes these. So do play around with the entity dashboards. There is, I'll just shift over to customer billings. You can have a dashboard, again, on actuals. Let me make the time. And you can have visual filters here. You can see how much time is regular time versus how much time is overtime. This is all based on what the consultant reported and what the activity was flagged as. So you can see how much overtime billings you have for a customer for a given period, or what's the by Fabricam US, okay, for this customer aid item, how much did we do in Fabricam US versus Fabricam India. So this is a very powerful feature, so please try this out. And what I'm also going to show you, one of the other features is basically this currency agnostic concept where you could have a global price list. So I'll go ahead and I'll just, this is Fabricam US. I'll go ahead and delete this org unit specific price list that I have for costs. I'll say I'm no longer going to use org unit specific things. Instead, I'm going to go to my settings and turn on that flag where I say I'm using one global cost rate list for all of my company, for which I just need to remove some of these currency specific price lists that I've got. I'm creating a new price list here for costs. I'm going to say this is my global price list with a start date of starting June 1 through to maybe December 31. And here you can see that there is a currency and a time unit right on the price list header. This will be ignored when you turn on that flag. This wouldn't matter anymore. So I'll save this. Go here and say, for a network technician coming from Fabricam France, I'll just use that as an example. The price is, say, 123 euro per hour, or let me make that a little interesting and say, yeah, that's fine. And then I'll create a new price for the same network technician. I say this person is from Fabricam US, where let's say I prefer to express my price in days. And I'll say this person is $1,000 US per day. And what is a day? If I go into a day is 8 hours. I'll just go ahead and rename this to say US day. And back on my price list, let me add a new price. But here I'm gonna, before I do that, let me just go ahead and add one more unit of time. I'm going to call this, let's say, Scotland Day. And oops, say this is actually 7.5 and not 8 hours. Save. So back on my price list, I'll add a price for a network technician. Let's say the resourcing unit here is, I'll just use India. And instead of using the typical day, which is 8 hours, I'll use a 7.5-hour day. And I'll make this not US dollar, but let's say this is in Indian rupees. I call this, say, 20,000 Indian rupees per day. So with this kind of price setup, what you can do is, you can go turn this on in your parameters. So on my prices, I've got this, when I use a network technician from India, they need to be priced so much, and I'm setting those up in the country's currency so that it's all in the way the country expresses it. You don't have to do any conversions. You don't have to do any changes. You just set up your currencies and your time units, and you can go set up all your cost rates in those time units and in those currencies. And then what you do is you come back to settings and say, you turn on this multi-currency cost rate list. It just gives you a warning. Fine, just click fine on that one. Don't give it some thought, because if you already have some pricing going on where it is not currency agnostic, please read that warning. I have made sure that I don't have any, but this could have good far-reaching consequences if you kind of do this without reading that. So I'm going to set up this global cost rate list on my project, and I don't have any more org unit specific pricing. It's global in the sense that you do have org unit specific pricing or the transfer rates, but it's all in the currency in which the pricing was set up. There is no transfer rates concept here. There is just a rate. The transfer rate is when you do have org unit specific price list. So if I now go ahead and create a project and use the project could be in any currency, it'll always use this global price list, which was not the case before. It always wanted to match the project's org unit currency with the price list currency and only pick that up. But now, because I turned on currency agnostic, it doesn't care what the project's org unit currency is. Project still has an org unit currency. So if I go ahead and create a project, and let's say I create this project in Swiss project, and I create it in Swiss francs, and the contracting unit is, say, Fabricam Switzerland. So it's a Swiss franc project. Save this project. I don't have a price list set up in Swiss francs. I don't have an org unit called Contoso Fabricam Switzerland, which has a cost rate list. I just have one global cost rate list. And now if I go ahead to my schedule and start creating these tasks, I'll just create 3 tasks to correspond with the way I have staffed this. Say, network technician from India. So they work regular hours because I added resource work hours as one of my pricing dimensions. I'll just go and pick network technician here. And then I'll create a network technician from US. And I'll create a network technician from France. Save and close. And then I believe the one from India I need to tweak. I forgot to change the org unit here, so let's say Fabricam. And we'll save that. Now, when I go to my resource assignment and my estimates on this project, you will see that it shows me everything in Swiss francs because that is my project's currency. But then it has done all the conversions for you from that global price list in the currency that the cost was set up in. So that's a little bit of the demo of one of the features. There's a few more. Please explore and read the documentation. And I'll shift back to the deck.
Thank you. Can you hear me? All right, perfect. So this is one of the investments that, again, we have done in March timeframe, I believe. So, and we'll continue to invest in this space. I'm not sure if it's, I think maybe we switched the wrong one. Okay, now we'll talk a little bit about the roadmap and then what's coming. So I know that there has been a lot of inaccurate blogs that came up. So I think one thing that I would like to clarify is the project capabilities that exist in Dynamics is not going away. As you have seen, we're investing in this space. We're going to continue to invest in this space. And we're looking to bring both project capabilities that exist in finance and operations closer to PSA. So PSA capabilities are not going away. So that's one thing that I would like to clarify. So let's talk a little bit about the roadmap, and hopefully it will be clear why we got these inaccurate blogs in the market. So if you remember at the beginning, we had talked about this business process, right? This business process is what PSA is supporting today, right? So we have the opportunity management piece. So if you look at the opportunity management piece that exists in PSA, it's built on Dynamics 365 for sales, right? We have a very strong sales capability if you compare it to our competitors, right? And the reason for that is that it's built on Dynamics 365 for sales, right? If you look at our resource management capability, you know, PSA is very strong there as well, right? So it's built on the universal resource scheduling that's been built for field service, right? It's very deep from an organizational resource management capability perspective. If you look at time and expense and customer billing, so time, you know, the time capabilities that we have in PSA are very deep. Our finance and operation capabilities around expense and project financials are very deep as well, right, from that perspective. And then from a service analytics perspective, if you look, you know, we're leveraging the same power platform that all of our Dynamics 365 solutions leverage. And we have a very strong platform here to further build on the customer insights that we have currently in the product. And we'll continue to invest in that, right? We'll be lighting up new machine learning scenarios. We'll talk about that in the October wave a little bit more. If you look at project planning and team collaboration type capabilities, right? We have a tool like Microsoft Project, which is the leader in this market. So we have very deep capabilities within Microsoft from a project planning perspective. And then office teams and office groups, right? Very strong capabilities there together, combined with Exchange. And all of this is built on the Power Platform, right? So looking at this slide, right, and looking at the Microsoft assets that we have and the project capabilities that we have very capabilities in a lot of the different assets. So what we will be investing in for the next year is to bring the best capabilities of all of these assets into a single experience seamlessly in a one application manner. And our investments in the next 12 months will be focusing on that. So again, if you look at our project execution offerings, right, we have at the bottom planner, project, PSA, and finance and operations. So planner is mostly used by smaller project teams where resources are being assigned manually. You don't need resource management capabilities there. And then the enterprise level solution with Microsoft Project provides, the ability to co-edit projects, project templates, right, baselines, time tracking, and is the leader in the work management application space, right? And then if you go from an organizational needs perspective, PSA provides the economics around projects, right? So if you need to do pre-sales, right? If you need to do quotes and contract and invoices, right? And resource management, you would utilize a tool like PSA to do that in a standard manner across the organization. And then if you look at our finance and operation offerings, right? If you have governance, risk, and compliance heavy requirements, if you have stocked item-based scenarios where what you need in the project plan is an inventoried item and you need direct integration with inventory engineer to order type scenarios, that's where we see finance and operations service industries being used. Right? So again, from a roadmap and from a vision perspective, what we're looking to do is bring all those three assets from Microsoft Project, PSA, and finance and operations service industries, utilizing the Power Platform, Azure, and CDS, and bring them all together to provide a comprehensive solution to our customers. So to further double-click on this, so what we have today in market is we have PSA in market and we have finance and operations service industries, right? Finance and operation service industries is not going away, right? We'll continue to maintain that. Kim Nelson on my team had a session at 9:30 today. If you didn't get to watch it, you can watch it online. So we went into detail around our investments on the F&O side and what we're looking to light up for the October wave. From a PSA perspective, what we're looking to do is, on the left-hand side, you see the Microsoft Project offerings. We have Planner, we have Project Online, PWA today in market, and we have also a capability called Roadmap. Who has heard of Roadmap? Can I see hands? Okay, a few people. Please go to Project Home and check out the Roadmap capability. What Roadmap provides is it provides a portfolio view to the users where, if you have several projects that you're participating in, you can see those when you go to the Roadmap and then be able to have a portfolio view in there. And the significance of Roadmap to us is PSA engineering team and the Office engineering, the Microsoft Project engineering team, have started to work together to land a Project Online on CDS, right? So that has been in motion for a year. And the Roadmap was our first milestone that landed, that's running on the Dynamics platform on CDS, right? And this landed in December 2018, and it's utilizing our Dynamics platform for all of its capabilities. So what we will land next in item number 1 that you see, this will land in Q3 of 2019, is what we call a new project service. So the Office team will come up with a new project service that's fully CDS-based, CDS-powered, running on the Dynamics platform. And our PSA engineering team is continuing to work with the Office project team to map them to our PSA entities, right? So what we want to do is we're taking the project concepts that Microsoft Project has, and we're mapping them to our task entity, to our project entity on CDS, right? The goal being to provide that seamless single experience down the road and replace PSA's WBS project planning capabilities with those from Microsoft Project, right? So that's kind of the work that's in progress. And in the meantime, what we're doing is we're taking the resource management capability that exists in PSA, and we're turning it into a horizontal application. So if you did go to Kim's finance and operations session, you have heard that the resource management capability on the finance and operations side will be now URS-based, right, powered from the CDS platform. So that's that work, right? So by making the resource management a horizontal application, we'll make sure that field service, finance and operations, and PSA, as well as project, are using the same service in all of our assets. So after Q3, after a couple of months later, right, what we will land is what you see in number 2. So this will land in Q1 calendar year 2020. At that point, we will take the new project service, right, the project online from Office, and we'll embed it into PSA. And we'll replace the WBS Gantt capabilities from PSA with those from Office, right? So our sales capabilities will still remain. Our resource management capabilities in PSA will remain. Time and expense invoicing capabilities will still remain. But for project planning, we will be using Microsoft Projects capabilities, right? So that will provide our PSA customers with a much deeper project planning muscle than they have today. So you will have the task scheduling from Office directly running in your PSA solution. And we'll do a demo of the Better Together or of the Office and Dynamics 365 experience later on during the session. And then also what we're looking to do is revenue recognition is a capability that has been in demand for by a lot of our PSA customers. So we will provide a tight integration with finance and operations and PSA, and our customers will be able to light up invoicing, revenue recognition, expense type capabilities directly from finance and operations. So this is our October high-level view, our investments here. Again, remember, finance and operations service industries will continue to be there, to be in market. Our complex customer scenarios, the ones that we see in manufacturing, engineering, construction, where we have stock-based scenarios, they will still continue using finance and operations, but we will be enhancing the experience for our PSA customers by adding these capabilities. Any questions on this slide? No. So the timeline for number 1 is Q3 of 2019. For number 2 is Q1 of 2020, as well as for number 3. And these are calendar years. Yes. No, we will also have a integration, the current integration with Business Central. Again, the way we are positioning this, you don't need to have an ERP system from Microsoft either, right? You can have a third-party ERP that you can integrate to. Yeah, exactly. It will be through an API. Okay, there was one more question on that side. Sorry. So DevOps, and I think I'll let Rupa address that one.
There is a roadmap for Microsoft Project, roadmap solution.
Your mic isn't open.
Hello, yeah. So there is a roadmap for the Microsoft Project team with their roadmap solution to be able to plug in any tasks from any project management app. And that's why DevOps is appearing there, because they plan to have Visual Studio or DevOps projects with their tasks to also be pinned on their roadmap solution. So you can have one view of all projects, irrespective of where they were created. You can have one view of the roadmap from various projects, project management applications.
And I think from a timeline perspective, I don't know if you know, Rupa, I think the VSO piece, like in the roadmap, you can have a project in VSO as well as in Microsoft Project, and you can see all your tasks as part of the roadmap capability. Any other questions? Yes? Yeah. Yeah, so we're trying to make it as seamless as possible. It will be an opt-in experience for customers to click on the button and say, I want to upgrade to this new experience. Again, if you, as a PSA customer, have customized the WBS and Gantt capabilities, that's where we will probably we will need to handhold those customers to get to the new experience. If you have out-of-the-box WBS and Gantt experience that you're using today in PSA, it will be just an opt-in when you're ready to go to the Project plus Dynamics 365 experience.
Are you going to bring Agile templates for Microsoft Project Interface?
Agile, we will eventually.
Yes, yes. Right now, if you see in the demo that I'll show you, there is a board view for your project tasks. So if you don't have dependencies between tasks, you're doing Kanban boards, there is already a view that I can show you right now. But yeah, there will be more support for burn down charts and stuff like that.
And we'll provide the details exactly around the October release and the investments that are coming there. Okay, one more question. Sorry? Stocked and resource. So if you have a project for the October wave, if you have a project that requires stocked items where you have materials in your WBS where you need to do inventory checks, then our recommendation is to use FNOSI capability. So in the future, as part of a directional investment, we certainly want to bring those capabilities into the project online space so that you can also have the option to do that from a project online PSA and then finance and operations perspective. So are they looking to use PSA? Yeah. So we have a lot of customers that are currently doing implementation in production or where they have just purchased the solution. So they can just go ahead and do the implementation. To the earlier question, the migration experience to the single experience will be in the customer's control. They can go and they can try it out first, the project plus PSA experience, and when they are ready, they can just upgrade to that. Yeah, it will be. So basically, for any customers that are our PSA customers today, they will have the right to go to the new experience. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So basically, you can do the integration today. Again, in October, we have features landing that will make the integration between FNO and PSA much easier. If your implementation timeline allows for that, then I would recommend that you wait until we land those changes so that you can have an easier integration than you do today. That's right. Q1 2020, yes, that's when we will make the integration much easier. So if you have done an FNO PSA integration, which some of our customers have done, that has been not as straightforward. So we're making investments in both products to make that easier. Okay, I think the rest of the questions, let's take them at the end of the session. We'll be here so that we'll just go through the slides. And then as part directionally, we'll also provide a talent integration, so that you can have the resources within the talent app, which will then be utilized by our PSA solution. So just to be firm around, the inaccurate blogs that are in market, right? So this is what you have currently in PSA, right? So you have project sales capabilities, you have project planning capabilities, resource management, and TESA capabilities that Rupa has talked about. So in Q3 of calendar year 2019, a new project service, that's a new offering from Office, will come out, running on CDS. This will map to our PSA entities that are on CDS today, right? And then in Q1 of 2020, right, Q1 of calendar year 2020, what we will do is we will bring those project office experiences directly into PSA, right? That's what our customers will get, right? It will be a much more enhanced experience for those customers who require those, who have these complex WBS, who have these complex project plans, right? Who are scientific about project planning, where they have resources against tasks. You will be able to use Microsoft Office directly from PSA. So that's kind of the roadmap for next winter. And then also in Q1 of calendar year 2020, we'll bring the FNO and the PSA products closer together, and we'll simplify the integration that exists between those two products. And then we will not stop here, right? So we have a lot of items from the ideas page that we have submitted to improve our capabilities, whether that's on the sales side, on project planning side, right, resource management side. So we will continue to work, hand in hand with our Microsoft Office team, and our team will own all the FNO, SI, and the PSA roadmap. So that's kind of the vision and where this is going. Again, none of the project capabilities in Dynamics are going away, so we hope to clarify that with this presentation. Okay, October.
So October, some of the investments we're trying to make, and most of this is still in discussion, so please don't bank on this, but these are some of our plans, that's some of the areas where we are doing explorations. So AI insights and reporting, recommending the best next action. So if you're familiar with Dynamics Assistant, which is part of the sales solution now, that's moving to the platform. And using that, that's now, once it moves to the platform, it's now available for all customer engagement apps to be able to leverage that, create a flow-based recommendation that can be powered by heuristics or by AI. We're trying to explore that and trying to see ways in which we can utilize that for PSA customers. And then we'll have updated Power BI solution templates. We'll have some of the blob unstructured data in PSA be moved to ADLS for structured reporting purposes. In terms of comprehensive capabilities, this is basically nothing but feature ads. We're going to have split billing, as in multiple customers paying for one project contract. It's not to do with how you collect costs on the project. It's just how to do with how you bill for the project. And so this is coming down from, FNO has this capability on project contracts. PSA does not. So for people wanting to have an integrated solution, we're making certain enhancements to our feature lines in both products with the idea of it should not be that you don't have a certain feature in a certain product. Ideally, we want to have project accountants in FNO, project managers and salespeople in CE, and resource managers in CE. So you'll see us add features to that line of persona-based support. So with that, we're adding not to exceed limits on time and material contracts. This has been a big ask from the IDEA site as well. We are introducing split billing. We'll have retainer type of contracts. This has been an IDEA's ask, not so much to do with feature alignment, but more to do with reaction to our ideas. And then a huge one has been task-based decision of whether a certain project task is time and material or fixed price, and what, based on that task, would be considered chargeable and non-chargeable. So with this setup, what you'll see is once you have a contract line that is time and material, you don't necessarily associate the whole project and a certain transaction class to it, but rather you can associate a node in your WBS and say this node is time and material, this node is fixed price. Some of those designs have already been extensively explored with a bunch of partners in the Yammer channel. So we have the designs. If you would like to contribute to those designs, please either contribute on the IDEA side, or I'd strongly encourage being on the Yammer channel so that we can have those discussions on some of these. And then another, the two integration of that fall into the integration umbrella of effort is basically this project task scheduling capabilities coming into CDS and the work required to then wire in the rest of PSA, which is basically sales, resource management, time and expense, costing, pricing, invoicing, all that around the Microsoft project scheduling experiences. That's a huge load on our engineering team to remove the project that we have in PSA and replace it with the Microsoft projects project entity and task entity. So that will be a huge investment we're doing, and we're also going to integrate PSA with FNO so that you could run through a project all the way up to time and expense and any other costs in PSA, and then take those actuals for financial reporting purposes like GL, AP, AR into FNO, and also build a customer-facing invoice. If you have used PSA, you will understand PSA's limitations. We don't have a proper exchange rate system. It's not date effective. It's not a system of record for taxes. That is something FNO strongly brings to the table. So you will have a way to integrate your actuals into FNO so that you can get the correct exchange rate applied to it, and then use it for your GL accounting as well as printing a customer-facing invoice. So those are some of the investments that we will be making. Yeah.
Shall we